hours, 15 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Hey, this is Tom. Welcome back. This is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're back. Yep, we survived the Hurricane Matthew. Didn't sustain any damage that I know of. I did a quick scan yesterday afternoon of the yard outside. Checked my antennas. They were all still up and looked in good condition. So I think we survived the hurricane. Luckily, the hurricane did not come across the state over to the west side where I live. So we're good to go, and we're back on the air. I noticed this morning that the solar flux index is over 100, which is good. It's the weather is cooling down. It's going to be in the high 60s this week, all week, which means winter is approaching here in Florida. And it typically means, again, conditions are good for listening at my location, primarily because it's a lot cooler in my shack. Although I'm going to have to turn this fan back on because there's still a lot of residual heat in my workshop. So right now it's 85 degrees in my workshop, although it's 75 outside. So this morning we're going to see how well shortwave listening conditions have improved. They should have improved. We've got a good solar flux index. It's still nighttime. It's 6:15 in the morning here in Florida, and it's cooler. So let's, as you could tell from the beginning of the program, WWV 10 megahertz coming in loud and clear. We can try 5 megahertz. A little bit of noise there. It's about an S4 on this meter. This, of course, is my Big Bertha radio, the Grundig 800. Some people have commented, that's not a big radio. Well, it's a big radio for one that has transistors and semiconductors and stuff like that instead of tubes. It's moderately sized for a radio that has tubes. Most of my tube radios are taller than this, about the same width, and they weigh 50 to 60 pounds, where this weighs about, 15 pounds. So yeah, it's not a monster radio except in the class it's in, which is transistors and integrated circuits and stuff like that. Okay, so let's start down on, well, let me go to one of my favorite stations, which is Radio Australia, which is at 9580. Whoops, it would help if I punch the right numbers.
The region of Western Australia has had some of the highest rates of suicide in
S9,
the world, especially for young people, and it's still not front page news in Australia to the extent that it should be.
Now this is the way I like to hear it. Previous month or two, either I wasn't getting Radio Australia at all, or I was really struggling to get it. Right now I am using my MFJ 31-foot vertical antenna that's hooked to the satellite 300. And Radio Australia is booming in. Typically, I get it very strong early in the morning like this. Also get China Radio very strong this time of morning at 9570. Let's try 9570. They don't seem to be on the air this morning on that frequency. I don't know what that's all about. Kind of strange. Earlier I thought it was because it was kind of early, but it's after 6 a.m. here in Florida, so it shouldn't be too early for that frequency, but I'm not getting them. The other thing that I've seen on the news as far as shortwave listening is there's a lot of transmitters south of me, and that's where the hurricane went through. So a lot of those transmitters are down right now. So that's the situation there. Let's go down to the 80 meter amateur radio band, which is about, let's say 3.8. So we'll go to 3800, and then we'll go to lower sideband. Yep.
I couldn't even walk.
There we go.
I had absolutely no control of myself. Anyway.
3.793 lower sideband. The other thing I noticed is the noise level is way down there. It's like a S2, which it's been about an S5 or S6. So that's another thing that's working for us, is that low noise level. Why do I say that so slow? I don't know.
Okay. But the other alternative would have been you were having a stroke. I don't know what, I had no idea.
I love to listen to these amateur operators down on this 80 meters. It seems like they're mostly older gentlemen like myself. Well, nobody as old as I am, but anyway, older gentlemen that have been around for a while, and they're typically, I'm receiving stations from the south, so there's that southern accent, and it's really interesting to listen to them. Plus, like now, I'm getting stations from Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, and they're telling their experiences with the storms, which is kind of interesting. So that's something that's fun to listen to. Let's go up to 6 megahertz. There's typically a Spanish station there. I mean, it's booming in, and let's just see if it's on the air. So let's go to 6 megahertz. Nothing. I think that's, I'm trying to recall what it is, because I typically don't listen to it, but I think that's Radio Habana, and like I say, I don't typically listen to it because it's usually in Spanish, not always, and typically it's better in the evenings or late afternoon, but I've picked it up in the morning. So either they're not broadcasting, they're not scheduled to broadcast, or they're not on the air. Maybe their transmitter site got knocked out by the storm. Let me see if I can look up their frequency and find out where that transmitter is. Okay, Radio Habana. And if I click on the flag, I'm at short-wave, short-wave.info. Well, gee whiz, Tommy. It's in Havana. Oh, I think the hurricane has affected my brain. Yeah, that's a poor excuse. Okay, let's, where else can we try just to see how conditions are? Usually above 6 megahertz and above, I get a lot of Spanish stations because they're just south of me. See what else we can get in here. Oh, we gotta get off single sideband. Oh, there one. It appears to be at 6.030, loud and clear, S10 on this meter.
una revolución, ya tú sabes,
See if I can look that
una
up.
revolución que va a dar resultado todas las barbaridades que hace. Y esas CSS empezaron a trabajar con el objetivo de que sus productos fueran depositados, aunque fueran en el banco, pero fueran depositados para esas CSS. Porque de ahí, de ese dinero, tú pagabas a los trabajadores, pero de ese dinero tú cogías lo que tú de verdad necesitabas.
Well, there's a bunch of stations. Let me turn this down. There's a bunch of stations on 6.030. Spanish right now is Radio Martini, which is in the United States, actually north of me, I think. Let me click on that for 1 second. Bear with me. Yeah, that's up in North Carolina. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't understand Spanish, so I don't have a clue what he's saying. I wish there was a device. Maybe there is. It's probably just not very cheap. I wish there was a device that you could put in voice in a different language, and it would translate for you. Those devices may exist. It's probably just not economical to use.
Pero Alberto, ¿no recuerdas también aquel?
Boy, that signal is booming in, and I said that's coming from North Carolina. Let's go up.
Campos de caña.
Sí.
Para luego.
Another Spanish station at 6.1, probably 05. Don't understand it. For the heck of it, I'll look that up. 6105. And there is a couple of stations. Spanish right now. Let's see, Portuguese. I can't even pronounce it. Spanish. XEQR. And let me click on the map. On the flag, which will take me to a map. I say it will take me to a map. Why didn't it take me to a map? Okay, we'll try one more time. Okay, for that station, for some reason, I can't get it to show me where that is, but it looks like the flag is from Chile, maybe. Yeah, it could be Chile. And it does say I might be able to receive that, which I'm able to receive right now. It's music now. Okay, get off the music. Okay, for one more little ditty, we'll try the 40 meter amateur radio band. Now, typically, the 40 meter amateur radio band, I get stations that are further away from me. So let's go to 20 meter. Let's go to 20 meters, 14 megahertz. Okay, that's a little too high in frequency. I should have gone to what I originally said, which was 40 meters, which is 7 megahertz. Okay, let's see. Try upper sideband. Now, where'd that station go? I guess he was on lower side now. Yeah, he's gone. Okay, if you're not familiar with the amateur radio bands, typically the bands are broken down into sections of each band that's designated for the type of communications. Typically at the beginning of the band, in this case 7 megahertz, up to about 7.2, that's data. So you typically would want to communicate with digital data via computer controlled radio or whatever. Above 7 megahertz, 7.2 megahertz is typically voice, and it's typically on 7 megahertz, it's usually the upper sideband. So we're still at 7.140, and we heard voice there. Okay, I guess it might be a little too early for amateur radio bands. The 14 megahertz band, amateur radio band, the 20 meter band, is typically really busy in the midday or late afternoon. So it's a little too early for that band. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we survived the hurricane. Luckily, it did not come across the state. So our maximum winds were about 30 miles an hour in gust. All our antennas survived, and we're still on the air and hope to be doing some more shortwave listening because conditions are much better than a month or 2 months ago. So anyway, if you enjoyed this show, take a few seconds and hit that thumbs up button. If you have any comments, please leave a comment. I love comments, and I typically try to respond to comments within a couple hours after them being posted. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.